Are you feeling stuck in your existing life, wondering how to make a fresh start? What if I told you that today is the right day to begin your new journey? In this video, we're going to go into the steps you need to take to improve your life and build the future you've always dreamed of. No more waiting for the perfect moment, since the best time to start is now. Keep watching, and let's get started on the way to your new life. You have the capacity to transform your life starting now, but you must begin now. I'm not here to offer you a fantasy where everything suddenly improves without work. Life simply doesn't work that way. However, I can guarantee you of this. If you're prepared to take genuine action, ready to stop making excuses, and determined to going forward, you can improve your life altogether. It doesn't require a miracle, only a single decisive choice. Have you ever felt trapped, like you're stuck in a loop you can't escape? Perhaps you've been thinking a change for a long time, but weren't sure where to begin. Maybe fear of failure has been holding you back, or you simply don't know the first move to take. Let me tell you this. The route to a new life begins with one critical decision, taking that initial step. Today, we're going to explore how to break free from your current situation and start building the life you've always dreamed of. No more waiting for the perfect moment or expecting things will improve on their own. We'll go into what it actually takes to alter your life, and it all starts with you. No one else can accomplish this for you. But the good news is, you already have everything you need to make it happen. Making substantial changes can feel overwhelming, but that's why we'll break it down into simple, practical stages. Together, we'll find how to face the truth of where you are, make clear and achievable goals, go out of your comfort zone, and keep pushing forward even when it gets challenging. It won't always be easy, but I assure you it will be worth it. If you're ready to take that first step toward the life you truly desire, remain with me. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear plan to help you construct a life filled with purpose, activity, and progress. It all begins today. Let's start this trip together. Step 1. Face the facts about your current life. Let me ask you a basic question. Are you honestly pleased with the life you're living right now? Take a moment, don't rush your answer. Let it truly sink in. Do you wake up each day feeling proud of the direction your life is moving? Or are you merely going through the motions, expecting things will miraculously improve on their own? The truth is, if you want to start a new chapter in your life, the first step is to address the reality of where you are now. And let me tell you, this isn't always simple, but it's extremely vital. Here's why it matters. You can't alter what you refuse to admit. Far too many people live in denial, brushing aside the elements of their life that make them unhappy. Maybe it's their finances, health, relationships, or even their thinking. Whatever it is, they downplay the issue, pretend it's not that awful, or blame circumstances outside their control. But let me be straight with you, this strategy leads nowhere. If you're serious about altering your life, you need to take a hard, honest look in the mirror. Not to judge yourself or feel disappointed, but to wake yourself awake to reality. I know this might sound tough, and I'm not saying anything to make you feel guilty or assign blame. I'm saying that because taking responsibility for your current position is the most empowering thing you can do. Think about it. If you own where you are, you hold the power to change it. But if you keep blaming others or external factors, you're abandoning that power. So where should you start? Begin by stepping back and examining your life as it stands. Break it down into important areas: your health, relationships, career, and habits. Ask yourself, what's working, what isn't, where are you thriving, where are you falling short? And don't simply think about it, write it down. Put it all on paper. There's something immensely compelling about seeing it laid out in black and white. It drives you to confront the truth without excuses or distractions. Now, let's talk about emotions, because this process isn't going to be comfortable. You can feel uncomfortable about places where you've let things lapse, regret missing opportunities, or even rage about past actions. And that's okay. Feel it. Let those feelings hit you, since they act as a wake-up call. Those feelings are your mind's way of telling, it's time to make a change, but don't allow yourself be locked in that spot. The goal here isn't to linger on your mistakes or blame yourself. It's to acknowledge where you are so you can pick where you want to go. It's also crucial to realize that facing the truth isn't simply about the bad. It's just as vital to acknowledge your strengths, your accomplishments, and the positive things you've accomplished thus far. Don't overlook those. Letting go of the past and accepting change is a great approach to move forward. Celebrate your successes. They're proof that you're capable of improving and overcoming problems. Use those triumphs as fuel to remind yourself of what you can do when you focus and put in the work. Now, ask yourself a tough question. If nothing in your life changed, if you remained doing exactly what you're doing now, where would you be a year from today, 5 years from today? Would you feel proud of the person you've become? Or would you feel like you've wasted vital time? This question isn't designed to scare you, but to motivate you. Because here's the truth. Time will pass, regardless. The real question is, are you going to use that time to create a better future, or are you going to remain stuck where you are? Let me share a great truth that transformed my perspective. You are not your past. Whatever mistakes you've made or obstacles you've faced, they don't define you until you allow them to. What actually defines you are the decisions you make from this moment forward. And that's the beauty of confronting the truth about your life. It gives you a clean slate. It allows you the chance to start fresh, no matter where you're beginning. But here's an important warning. This isn't a one-time event. Facing the reality about your life is a habit, something you'll need to do consistently. Why? Because life has a way of wandering off course if you're not paying attention. If you're not honest with yourself about what's working and what isn't, you'll ultimately wake up and wonder how things got so far off track. So here's my challenge to you. Take 1 hour today, just 1 hour, and sit down with yourself. No distractions, no phone, no excuses. Write down where you are in life right now. Be honest. Be thorough. And then ask yourself, what needs to change? Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Because the minute you decide to confront the truth is the time you take back control. And trust me, there's nothing more powerful than a person who's honest with themselves. When you stop running from the truth, you start moving toward the life you are destined to live. That's where it all begins with you. Right here, right now, deciding to take that first step. So what are you waiting for? Step 2, decide to change. When was the last time you made a decision that actually impacted your life? I'm not talking about tiny decisions like what to eat for supper or which movie to watch. I mean the kind of decision where you drew a line in the sand and said, enough is enough. The kind of decision that transformed the entire path of your life. If you haven't made one of those decisions yet, then maybe this is the day. Because deciding to change is the moment where everything begins. Here's the truth about change. It doesn't happen by accident. Nobody wakes up one morning to find their life wonderfully transformed. Change starts with a decision, a definite, clear, and unshakable decision. It's the moment you stop wishing for things to improve and start deciding they will better because you are going to make it happen. Let's be honest. Making the decision to change isn't simple. It challenges you to confront what you've been avoiding. Your habits, your justifications, your worries. That's why so many people hesitate. They tell themselves, I'll change someday, but someday never comes. They wait for the perfect time, the perfect circumstances, or the perfect mood. But here's the reality. There's no such thing as the perfect timing. The only time you have is right now. When you decide to change, you're not just making a choice, you're taking charge. You're announcing, this is my life, and I'm not going to let it slip by. It's a bold statement of ownership over your future, and that's tremendously powerful. Think about it. How many individuals do you know who drift through life, letting things happen to them? They blame the economy, their childhood, their work, their partner, and everything except themselves. Don't be one of them, folks. Be the person who takes responsibility, who looks at their position and says, I have the power to change this. Now, let's talk about what that decision truly looks like. It's not merely a foggy idea or a wishful thought, it's a commitment. It's about you announcing, I'm done making excuses, done waiting for someone to save me, and done settling for less than I'm capable of. And when you make that commitment, you must back it up with action. Deciding to change isn't about expecting things will become better, it's about making a promise to yourself and then doing everything in your ability to honor it. But let's be honest, it's scary, isn't it? Change means walking into the unknown. It involves leaving behind the comfort of what's familiar, even familiarity is holding you back. It involves risking failure, rejection, changing the way you do things to do them differently. And it requires putting yourself out there right, like I just did in the potential that things could not go as planned. Here's what I need you to understand. The fear of change is never as agonizing as the regret of staying the same. Imagine looking back 5, 10, or 20 years from now and discovering you never achieved your potential because fear held you back. That's a misery I wouldn't want on anyone. So how can you conquer that fear? By focusing on the potential. Think about what your life may look like if you made the change. Imagine waking up every day with purpose, energy, and excitement for the future. Picture being proud of the person you've become, knowing you had the bravery to take command of your life. That vision, that clarity is what will push you forward even when things feel tough. Take a moment now and reflect on what needs to change in your life. Is it your health, your relationships, your career, your mindset? Whatever it is, get specific. Don't just declare, I want to be happier, or I want to be successful. Define what that means to you. What does a better life look like for you? Clarity is crucial. You can't change something if you don't know what you're striving at. Once you have that clarity, it's time to make the decision. And when I say make the decision, I mean fully commit to it. Don't just tell yourself you're going to change prove it. Start taking measures immediately, no matter how tiny they may seem. If you've chosen to better your health, take a walk today. If you've decided to seek a new career, research your first steps. If you want to shift your perspective, pick up an inspiring book or listen to empowering audio. Action is what transforms a decision into reality. Now, let me be honest with you. This won't be a smooth or simple trip. There will be challenges. There will be moments of doubt and moments when giving up feels appealing. But those moments, they define you. Every time you push through discomfort, every time you keep going, when stopping seems simpler, you're growing strength. You're proving to yourself that you are capable of more than you imagine. And here's the unbelievable part. Once you start making changes, something extraordinary happens. You know you're in control. You're not a victim of your circumstances. You're the creator of your fate. That realization is one of the most empowering experiences in the world. It's like switching a switch. You perceive the world differently. You stop waiting for opportunities to come to you and start generating them. You stop allowing fear hold you back and start using it as fuel to move forward. So here's my challenge to you. Make the decision today, not tomorrow, not next week. Decide that you're done settling. Decide to take control of your life, no matter what it takes. And after you've made that decision, act on it promptly. Don't let the momentum wane. Remember, the best moment to start is always now. I believe in you. I believe in your power to adapt, to grow, and to create a life that makes you proud. But belief alone isn't enough. You need to believe in yourself too. The best method to establish that belief? Take action one step at a time. Then by all means proceed, make the decision, start the journey, get ready for a fresh start. Step 3, create a clear vision. If I told you the life you've been dreaming of, the one that keeps you up at night, is just a step away from clarity, what would you do? Would you continue walking aimlessly, expecting to stumble upon it? Or would you take the time to pause, focus, and create a clear vision of what that life looks like? Because without a vision, you're merely wandering, and floating never gets you to where you want to go. Here's the truth. Most people don't fail because they lack talent or ambition. They fail because they lack clarity. Without knowing what they actually want, they wind up chasing everything and achieving nothing. They let external events to define their life instead of taking charge and making conscious decisions. This is where things begin to unravel. Clarity serves as your foundation, the blueprint for developing the life you desire. Without it, you're just putting bricks in various ways, hoping they somehow make something significant. Let's get honest for a bit. Creating a vision for your life isn't some feel-good activity, it's serious labor. It's about tackling uncomfortable questions and giving yourself honest answers. What do you actually want? Not what society teaches you to want, not what your family expects, but what resonates strongly within you. This isn't usually a simple question. It demands peeling aside layers of noise, diversions, and outside viewpoints to reveal what truly important. Reflect on this. How frequently do you genuinely stop to analyze your life? Most people are so caught up in daily routines and endless duties that they lose sight of where they're headed. If you don't know your destination, how will you ever get there? It's like driving without a map. You might get lucky and arrive, but probably not. Eventually, but more likely, you'll wind up lost, frustrated, and far from where you meant to be. Here's what I want you to do. Take a moment and visualize the best possible version of your life. Picture it in detail. Where are you living? What kind of work are you doing? Who are the folks you're spending your time with? How do you feel each morning when you get up? Be specific. Don't just declare, I want to be happy or I want to be successful. What does happiness look like for you? What does success mean to you? The clearer your vision, the more tangible it becomes. Your vision doesn't need to be flawless or extremely comprehensive, but it must be clear enough to act as your guide, your North Star. It's not the final destination, but a direction. And as long as you're moving toward it, you're making progress. Here's something crucial. A vision isn't only about what you want to achieve. It's also about who you want to become. Your external world can change, but if you want to construct a greater, more rewarding existence, you must evolve into a better, stronger version of yourself. And that path begins with clarity. You could be thinking, but what if I don't know what I want? That's okay. It's okay to feel uneasy, especially if you've spent years living a life that doesn't correspond with your genuine self. The good news is, clarity arises through action. The more you explore and experiment, the clearer your vision becomes. So don't wait for the right vision to strike before you begin. Start now and let it evolve as you go. Imagine standing at the edge of a dense forest, knowing there's a gorgeous meadow on the other side. You can't see the meadow yet, but you're positive it's there. The only way to reach it is to start walking. The way can appear confusing at first. You'll have to push through shrubs, clamber over fallen branches, and maybe even get a little confused. But with every stride, the route forward becomes clearer until you find yourself standing in that meadow, looking back at how far you've come. That's what crafting a vision for your life is like. It's about taking that initial step, even if you don't have all the answers. Trust that the road will reveal itself along the journey. Stay focused on the meadow of the life you're working for, even when the road is tough. So, where do you begin? Start by asking yourself the correct questions. What do I value most? What truly brings me joy? Ask yourself, what am I actually enthusiastic about? What type of influence do I want to create? Take time to meditate on these questions and write down your replies. Don't rush the process. Give yourself the space to investigate deeply and understand what matters most to you. And once you've defined your vision, don't keep it locked in your thoughts. Display it where you can see it daily. Write it down, make a vision board, or set reminders on your phone. Whatever works for you, the main thing is to keep your goal at the forefront, making it a constant source of motivation and inspiration. But remember, a vision is merely the starting point. It's the spark that starts the fire, but it's up to you to keep it blazing. This needs constant action every single day. Even the tiniest steps lead to big development over time. So, avoid becoming overwhelmed by the big picture. Instead, focus on what you can do right now, in this moment, to move closer to your vision. And here's the essential point. Your vision is yours and yours alone. It doesn't have to make sense to anyone else. It doesn't need to fit into society's concept of success or happiness. What matters is that it resonates with you. Don't be afraid to dream large or think differently. Create a life that is distinctly yours. You have the capacity to shape the life you desire, and it all begins with clarity. So take the time to acquire clarity about your vision, commit to it, and then take action one step at a time. The life you dream of isn't just possible, it's waiting for you. All you have to do is decide to pursue it. Step 4. Make intentional use of every minute of your day and set up your lifestyle with precise goals. Have you ever felt trapped? Like if no matter how hard you work, your life isn't moving forward? You wake up each day, go through the motions, but deep down, you know you're capable of so much more. Let me tell you something, there's a way out of that rut. The first step to breaking free and transforming your life is defining clear goals. And I'm not talking about broad aspirations like I want to be happy or I want to be successful. I mean specific, concrete goals that offer you direction, purpose, and a reason to go ahead every day. The truth is, most people don't realize their ambitions because they don't know exactly what they're striving toward. It's like driving a car without a destination. At first, the voyage could be fun, but ultimately, you'll feel frustrated, bewildered, and question why you haven't arrived at anything meaningful. That's what life is like without goal sendless, wandering without purpose. When you set clear goals, you construct a blueprint for your life. You no longer wander aimlessly, waiting for progress. You have a clear target to aim for, something to work for. Setting goals affects your mindset. You stop focusing on what's wrong and start focusing on what's potential. Let's get practical. Setting goals isn't simply about listing what you want. It's about being crystal clear on what you aspire to achieve and why it matters to you. For instance, declaring, "I want to be healthier" is a fine aim, but it's not specific. What does healthy mean to you? Does that mean losing 20 pounds, running a marathon, eating more vegetables, or cutting junk food? The more detailed your goals, the easier it becomes to take action and track progress. Also, your goals need to excite you. They should kindle a fire inside. If your goals don't inspire you, you won't stay motivated. So, don't settle for small, safe goals just because they feel realistic. Dream big. Aim for something that challenges you, something that pushes you outside your comfort zone. That's where actual growth happens. Once your goals are determined, break them down into smaller, doable tasks. For example, if your objective is to create a business, it may seem daunting to do all at once. But if you break it down, researching your industry, devising a business strategy, paying for launch costs, it becomes more attainable. Every time you execute a lesser step, you develop momentum, you'll start to notice progress. And that development will fuel your enthusiasm to keep going. Now, let's talk about accountability. It's easy to create goals, but sticking to them is much tougher, especially when life throws challenges your way. That's why you need to hold yourself accountable. Share your goals with someone you trust, whether it's a friend, a mentor, or a family member, someone who will encourage you and help keep you on track. You can also write your objectives down and set them where you'll see them daily, like on your bathroom mirror or as a note on your phone. This regular reminder can help you stay focused and committed to accomplishing your objective. The key to attaining your goals is to remind yourself daily of what you're working toward and why it matters. And remember this, setbacks are part of the process. There will be times when you feel like giving up, when progress feels slow, or when your goals seem out of reach. That's absolutely natural. Setbacks are merely a part of the trip. But here's the crucial thing. Every setback is an opportunity for progress. Instead of letting it discourage you, use it as fuel to keep going. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I improve next time? And then keep pushing forward. Because the only true failure happens when you stop trying. Another crucial element is that your goals must connect with your values. It's not enough to chase success or achievement just for the sake of it. Your goals should represent who you are and what's actually important to you. For example, if family is important to you, yet your goal demands you to work 80 hours a week and neglect your loved ones, you're likely to feel torn. That's why it's vital to take the time to think on your principles and ensure that your aims are in sync with them as you work toward your goals. Don't forget to congratulate your progress. It's easy to become so focused on the end product that you fail to realize how far you've come. But every step forward, no matter how small, is a success. Take time to appreciate your efforts and reward yourself along the road. It doesn't have to be something big, whether it's a pat on the back, a good meal, or just a minute of meditation. It's crucial to honor the hard work you're putting in. And finally, remember this. Establishing goals is one of the most powerful methods to take charge of your life. It's a declaration that you're not settling for less than you deserve. It's a pledge to your future and a reminder that you have the power to build the life you wish. So take the time to define specific goals, get clear on what you want, break them down into doable actions, hold yourself accountable, and keep pushing. The life you dream of is within reach. You simply have to be ready to seek it. When you do, you'll uncover a power and resilience within yourself that you never thought existed. This is your time. This is your moment. Go out there and make it happen. Step 5, modify your environment. When was the last time you actually observed your surroundings? Not just the people you spend time with, but also the locations you travel, the habits you've acquired, and the routines you follow. Have you ever paused to ask yourself whether the atmosphere you're in right now is helping you grow or holding you back? If you're serious about altering your life, here's the truth. Your surroundings count. It's more significant than you may realize. The people, places, and energy around you immediately influence who you are and who you're becoming. It's like a silent force affecting your mentality, conduct, and future. If you're surrounded by negativity, doubt, or mediocrity, it won't take long before you begin to absorb those things, often without even realizing it. On the other side, if you set yourself in an environment of growth, positivism, and ambition, you'll automatically rise to reach those standards. Let's be honest for a moment. Think about the individuals in your life right now. Are they lifting you up or lowering you down? Are they encouraging you to be the best version of yourself, or are they comfortable keeping you precisely where you are? This is a tricky issue, since sometimes the people closest to us are the ones holding us back the most. They may not want to, but their negativity, anxiety, or complacency can rub off on you. Here's the thing. If you don't take control of your surroundings, it will take control. I'm not proposing you need to take everyone out of your life instantly, but you do need to be honest with yourself about the impact certain individuals are having on you. If someone in your life is continuously depleting you, making you doubt yourself, or holding you back, you need to make a choice to either set boundaries, or, if necessary, distance yourself from them. Your future is too vital to compromise for someone else's comfort. But it's not only about the people around you. Let's speak about the spaces where you spend your time. Look around at your home, your business, or even in the city you live in. Do these places inspire you? Do they drive you to dream larger, strive more, and aim higher? Or do they remind you of the things you desire to leave behind? Sometimes a fresh start means more than just shifting your mentality. It could also entail modifying your physical environment. Maybe it's time to clean your living environment and get rid of things that no longer serve you. Perhaps it's time to relocate to a new neighborhood, a different city, or perhaps another nation. That might sound drastic, but sometimes a fresh environment is just what you need to break free from old routines and start developing a new version of yourself. Let me share something personal with you. A few years ago, I found myself in a place where I felt stuck. My surroundings were dull, and the people around me didn't share my thirst for progress. I knew that if I didn't modify my environment, I'd never become the person I wanted to be. So I made some tough choices. I separated myself from certain people, starting spending time in different places, and surrounded myself with persons who were living the kind of life I aspired to. That decision changed everything for me. But remember, improving your surroundings isn't only about leaving things out, it's also about bringing in the correct influences. Seek out people that inspire you, challenge you, and push you to be better. These don't necessarily have to be individuals. Personally, they may be mentors you follow online, books you read, podcasts you listen to, or clubs you join. The idea is to fill your life with voices and energies that correspond with the life you want to build. I also want to talk about habits, because they play a big influence in defining your environment. The daily habits you practice, the ones you perform habitually without thinking, are greatly influenced by your surroundings. If you're attempting to eat healthier, but your kitchen is full of junk food, it's going to be a daily struggle. If you want to be more productive, but your office is cluttered and disorganized, you're setting yourself up for failure. Take a critical look at your habits and evaluate how your environment is developing them. Then, make changes that support the life you wish to live. For example, if you want to read more, make sure there are books within easy reach wherever you spend your time. If you want to exercise regularly, keep your workout clothes or equipment visible and accessible. Small modifications like these can have a tremendous impact, since they make it easier to follow through on your plans. Now, I realize some of you might be thinking, I can't change my environment. I can't just move to a new city or get rid of the people in my life. And I understand not all adjustments are doable right now. But here's the good news. Even if you can't alter everything about your environment, there's always something you can change and start with what's within your control. Maybe you can't move to a new city, but you can explore new locations in your existing one. Perhaps you can't cut ties with certain individuals, but you can spend less time with them and more time with others that inspire you. Every small change counts, and let's not overlook the digital environment we live in. The items you consume online, social media accounts you follow, videos you watch are all part of your environment. If your online environment is saturated with negativity, drama, or distractions, it's time to clear it up. Unfollow accounts that don't offer value to your life. and start following individuals and pages that inspire, educate, and motivate you. Use technology as a tool for progress, not as a source of stress or distraction. As you focus on altering your environment, realize the goal isn't perfection. You don't need the perfect friends, home, or habits. What matters is growth. It's about creating. Setting objectives and creating a vision for your future is vital. You need to build an environment that supports the person you're becoming, not the person you were. This takes time, work, and intention, but I promise you, it's worth it. When you surround yourself with the appropriate people, places, and influences, something incredible happens. You start to believe in yourself more, see new possibilities for your life, and discover that you're capable of so much more than you expect. That's the power of changing your environment. It's not just about where you are, but who you're becoming, and who you're becoming is someone ready to take on the world. Now, let's talk about creating new behaviors. Start with something basic, yet immensely powerful. Your life today is the sum of your habits from yesterday. Whatever you're experiencing right now has been formed by the habits you've built over time. If you want to alter your life, modify your behaviors, this is easier said than done. But if you can master this, you can revolutionize everything. Let's get real, many of us have habits we don't even realize are holding us back. I'm not just talking about the obvious ones like hitting snooze or continuously scrolling on your phone when you should be working. I'm talking about deeper behaviors that you've acquired without even thinking about them. Maybe you procrastinate, avoid hard discussions, or have a pattern of negative self-talk where you beat yourself up after every mistake. Every action you do, every choice you make is a reflection of your habits. If those behaviors aren't helping you, neither will your life. But don't worry, I'm not here to critique your behaviors. I'm here to help you form the habits that will raise you, make you stronger, more disciplined, and help you create the life you've always desired. Now, why are habits so important? Think about this. You do things every day without even thinking about them. How you clean your teeth, drink your coffee, or tie your shoes. These are all habits. They don't require much mental energy because they've become automatic. And that's the beauty of habits. They become second nature once you create them. But here's the catch. Not all habits are equal. Some habits pull you up and others keep you down. If you want to start living a new life, you need to create behaviors that support your growth, success, and potential. I get it, changing behaviors is challenging. How many times have you promised yourself you'd exercise, wake up earlier, or eat healthier, only to slide back into your old routines a week later? We've all been there. It's frustrating. But here's the thing. Your habits are comfy and familiar. Even the poor habits are simple to stick to because they've been part of your life for so long. But that's exactly why we're talking about this. To start a new life, you've got to venture outside of that comfort zone. You have to fight through the barriers and establish habits that make you stronger, more focused, and aligned with the life you want. So, how do you get started? How can you go from being caught in the same old patterns to creating habits that bring you forward? Let me break it down for you. Step 1. Pick one habit you wish to change or create just one. Don't overload yourself by trying to alter everything at once. A lot of individuals make the mistake of redesigning their whole life, but that's too much to bear. So, start small. Maybe it's waking up earlier, going to the gym, or setting aside time to read or write every day. Focus on that one habit and commit to it. Step 2. Make it as easy as possible to succeed. For example, if you want to get up earlier, place your alarm across the room so you have to physically get out of bed to switch it off. If you want to start exercising, lay out your workout clothing the night before. Make it so easy that there's no excuse not to follow through. The trick here is to make the habit so simple that failure feels virtually impossible. Now, here's the intriguing part. It's not just about making the habit easy. You've got to build momentum. The first few days or weeks will be rough. Your old behaviors will try to drag you back to that comfy spot. But if you keep showing up day after day, you'll start to notice change. The more you repeat the habit, the more automatic it will become. It'll become part of who you are. Here's a little secret. Success is founded on modest wins. You don't need to get from 0 to 100 overnight. Just make tiny progress every day, and that growth will compound. One day, you'll look back and discover that those simple behaviors have dramatically revolutionized your life. But it all starts with the first step. And when you slip up, and you will, don't be too hard on yourself. Don't allow one error derail your development. Just get back up, dust yourself off, and start moving forward. The key is persistence. The key is consistency. The key is turning up even when you don't feel like it. But I want to be clear about something. Establishing new habits isn't only about doing things differently. It's about being a different person. It's about maturing into the kind of person that naturally accomplishes the things that lead to success. Now, as you start creating these new habits, you're not just changing your activities, you're changing your identity. You're telling yourself, I am the kind of person that wakes up early and works on my goals. I am the kind of person who stays disciplined, who pushes through terrible days, who does everything it takes to get forward. And let me tell you, once you start creating these habits, you'll feel different. You'll feel stronger, more confident, and more in control. You'll discover that the ability to change your life was always in your hands. All you had to do was take control of your habits. Here's a rephrased version of this section. If you want to start a new life, it all begins with your habits. Recognize the habits that are holding you back, and then build new ones that will drive you forward. Make things simple, stay consistent, and be patient. Remember, it's not about perfection, it's about growth. Every single adjustment, every little success puts you one step closer to the life you want. And when you look back in a year, 2 years, or 5 years, you'll discover exactly how much your habits have molded your future. The fantastic news is you can start today. You can start right now with just one tiny behavior. And before you realize it, that simple habit will evolve into something that dramatically transforms your life. So go ahead, take that first step today, create that new habit, and watch your life transform. Finally, number 7, speak positively about yourself. If you want to transform your life, right, here's a truth that hits home. Your words shape your world. You ahead or holding you back. If you're not speaking positively to yourself right now, you're wasting vital energy that could be used to move you toward the life you want. I've worked with enough people to know that one of the biggest hurdles to success isn't the lack of opportunity or resource, it's the steady stream of negative self-talk. I'm not good enough. I'll never make it. I'm not smart enough. We all repeat these things to ourselves, and over time, they grow to feel like truths. But I'm here to tell you something. They are not truths. Those are lies you've been telling yourself. And it's time to quit believing them. Your inner discourse is strong. If you're not speaking to yourself in a way that empowers you, you're setting yourself up for failure before you even begin. Every time you say something bad about yourself, every time you tell yourself you can't accomplish something or you're not good enough, you're reinforcing the belief that you're not capable of attaining your goals. It's like putting bars on your own legs and asking why you can't move forward. The good news is, you have the power to change. You have the potential to change the way you speak to yourself. And by doing so, you can transform your entire life. You talk to yourself to retrain your thoughts, to stop speaking words that tear you down, and to start speaking ones that build you up. It's not easy, but it's achievable. And it begins with one simple step. Choose to speak positively to yourself, no matter what. Now, I know some of you might be wondering, that sounds easy in theory, but how do I actually do it? That's an excellent question. Let me walk you through it. The first stage is awareness. Most of us don't even recognize how harshly we say about ourselves. It's automatic. We've been doing it for so long that it's second nature. But if you want to change, you've got to catch yourself every time you have a negative thinking or utter something like, I can't, or I'm not good enough. Stop yourself. Observe it, and then instantly replace it with something nice. Let's imagine you're confronting a challenge at work or in your personal life. Instead of thinking, I can't handle this, try telling yourself, I am more than capable of handling this. When you make a mistake, instead of saying, I'm so foolish, say, I made a mistake, but it doesn't define who I am. I'll learn from this and do better next time. At first, it may feel odd, but with time and practice, your inner dialogue will transform, and it will become normal to speak to yourself with kindness, support, and belief in your own potential. It can feel forced at first, but let me tell you, it works. Over time, these positive affirmations will become your new habit, and you'll learn to actually believe them. Your subconscious mind will start to embrace these optimistic beliefs as truth. And when your mind believes something extraordinary happens, your actions follow suit. You'll start taking steps that match with your new belief system. You'll begin to believe you're capable of doing more, and that belief will become the foundation for all you do. But it's not only about the words you speak out loud, it's also about what you think in the privacy of your own head. When you believe negative ideas about yourself, they damage your mood, confidence, and energy. And guess what? That impacts your actions. If you're continually thinking, I can't do this, you'll never attempt. You'll shy away from possibilities, dangers, and venturing outside your comfort zone. And when you don't try, you don't succeed. It's as simple as that. Change your thinking, and you'll change your behavior. But I know it's not always that straightforward. Life is harsh, and obstacles are real. When things aren't going your way, it's easy to fall into negative thinking. It's easy to allow dread and doubt take over. But that's when you've got to be the strongest. That's when you've got to fight back with the words you speak. In those moments when things feel overwhelming, remind yourself, I've overcome obstacles before, and I can do it again. I'm capable of more than I think. I'm stronger than I give myself credit for. It's not about denying reality, pretending everything is perfect. It's about approaching reality with the belief that you can handle whatever comes your way. It's about trusting in your strength, your ability to learn, and your capacity to adapt. Speak that over your life, and your life will change. Here's another key piece. Surround yourself with individuals that speak life into you. If you're always around individuals who knock you down, criticize, or degrade you, it'll be exceedingly hard to establish positive self-talk. You need to be among people who believe in you, who support you, and who remind you of your potential when you forget it yourself. You need people who will challenge you to achieve higher, not hold you back. But don't wait for others to do it. Let's be the ones who speak life into ourselves. Your words have power. You may talk success, say peace, speak strength, speak confidence, and in doing so, you'll start experiencing the benefits. But it all starts with one decision: to talk positively about yourself. Stop doubting your worth. Stop believing the negative thoughts that have held you down for so long. One thing I've learned during my experience is that success is an attitude. It's not only about the acts you do, it's about the way you think, the way you speak to yourself, and the way you handle challenges. When you start speaking positively to yourself, you start seeing yourself as capable, worthy, and strong, and that mindset becomes the foundation for all you accomplish. It won't happen immediately, but with each positive thought and phrase, you're reinforcing your belief in yourself, and that belief, that self-confidence will carry you forward. So, what I want you to do today is simple. Pay attention to the way you speak to yourself. Catch those negative ideas and replace them with empowering, uplifting ones. Speak success over your life, speak strength, talk confidence, speak optimism, and watch as it alters your attitude, your actions, and your life. Remember, you are what you tell yourself. So tell yourself that you're capable, that you're worthy, that you can achieve anything you set your mind to, and then go out there and prove it. Number 8, learn from the past, but don't live there. I want you to reflect about your history for a moment, not to linger on faults or regrets, but to understand that your past does not define you. It doesn't matter where you've been, what you've done, or who you used to be. What's important is who you choose to become moving forward. We all have a past. We all have things we wish we could alter. We all have times we wish we could take back. But here's the truth, you can't change the past. You can't redo those chapters, no matter how much you might wish you could. But what you can do is choose to learn from it. You can choose to use those experiences, the good and the terrible, as stepping stones toward becoming the person you want to be. Many individuals get trapped in the past, holding on to things that happened, holding on to mistakes they did, or things that were done to them. And as long as they're stuck in that location, they'll never move forward. They'll never realize their full potential because they're continually staring in the rearview mirror, always focused on the past instead of the future. Here's what I want you to understand. The past is not a place to live. It's a place to learn from. And once you've learned everything you need to, it's time to leave it behind. It's time to let go of what you can't change and focus on what you can control your future. I got it. Sometimes letting go of the past can feel like an impossible undertaking. The hurt, the embarrassment, the regret, it can feel overwhelming. And in those moments, it's tempting to imagine that your past will always be a part of you, that it will always define who you are. But that's not true. You are not your past. You are who you choose to be today and who you choose to become tomorrow. Take a time to think about this. Who do you want to be? Not who you were, not who you used to be, but who do you want to be right now? Who do you wish to become? The past only has power over you if you let it. It only has influence over you if you keep allowing it to shape your present and future. So let go. Let go of the humiliation. Let go of the guilt. Let go of the mistakes. They happened. They're in the past. And the only way to move forward is to cease living there. Staying motivated and overcoming problems is about not allowing the past hold you back. But here's the thing. You don't just forget the past and pretend it didn't happen. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you need to learn from it and then move on. Take those lessons, those experiences, and use them as fuel to drive you ahead. Take the wisdom that comes from difficulty, failure, and grief, and convert it into something powerful. Every experience, good or bad, has something to teach you. Every mistake is an opportunity to learn. Every setback is a chance to come back stronger. The trick is in how you respond. You may either let your past defeat you, or you can let it teach you. When you look back at your past, regard it as a teacher. Ask yourself, what did I learn from this? What can I learn from this experience that will make me better, stronger, wiser? When you start looking at your history this way, you take away its power to damage you. Instead, you change it into something that helps you move forward. The past is a tool for your growth, not an anchor around your neck. So quit living in the past. Stop letting it define your future. The best aspect about life is that every single day is a new opportunity. You get to pick who you want to be and how you want to show out in the world. You get to select how you respond to your history and what you take with you into the future. The future is yours to create. This is where actual power lies in your ability to create the life you want, starting today. Your past doesn't have to define your future. It can inform it, absolutely. It can guide you, but it doesn't have to be your anchor. You get to choose. You get to pick who you are, who you want to become, and what you're willing to do to get there. One of the biggest lies we tell ourselves is that we're trapped by our history. We believe that since we've made errors, faced problems, or failed, we can't move forward. But that's simply not true. Your faults do not disqualify you. They qualify you. They make you stronger. They teach you lessons you wouldn't have learned otherwise. Let me tell you this. The individuals who are truly successful in life are the ones who have learned to use their history as a stepping stone, not a stumbling obstacle. They're the ones who have endured difficulty, learned from it, and used it to fuel their progress. It's time for you to do the same. It's time for you to stop letting your past define you and start letting it empower you. You don't have to carry the weight of past mistakes or regrets with you. You don't have to live in the shadow of what's already happened. The only thing that matters is what you do from here on out. So learn from your past, but don't live there. Take the lessons, take the insight, but leave the agony behind. Leave the guilt behind. Leave the humiliation behind. Those things have no place in your future. Instead, focus on the person you are becoming. Focus on the steps you're taking today, the acts you're performing right now to create the future you want. Don't let the past keep you back. Let it urge you ahead. Learn from it, develop from it, and then keep going forward. You're not defined by what you've done or what's been done to you. You're defined by who you choose to be today. You're characterized by your decisions. You're characterized by your activities. So choose to be the person that learns from the past but doesn't stay locked in it. Choose to be the person that builds the future they want, regardless of where they've been. And remember this, it's never too late to start afresh. It doesn't matter how old you are, how many mistakes you've made, or how far you feel you've fallen behind. You may start fresh right now. You may decide right now to take charge of your future, to let go of the past, and to create a life you're proud of. The past is behind you. The future is ahead of you. And now is the time to begin. So, if you're ready, let go of the past. Learn from it, but quit living in it. Move forth and start building the life you deserve. Embrace discomfort and keep going forward. You're not going to grow until you're willing to embrace discomfort. I realize that's not what you want to hear. We all want the easy road, the smooth path, the one where everything falls into place without any difficulty. But that's not how life works. Life tests you. Life tests you. And if you're not willing to face discomfort, if you're not willing to feel the suffering, then you're never going to attain your full potential. Growth happens in discomfort. That's where true transformation takes place. Think about it when you're comfortable, when everything is easy, there's no growth. There's no need for improvement because everything is perfectly wonderful. But when things become rough, when you feel the pressure, when you're pushed to your limitations, that's when you grow. That's when you find out what you're actually made of. I'm not saying you should go looking for pain or put yourself in circumstances simply for the sake of struggling, but I am saying that if you avoid discomfort, if you avoid challenges, if you avoid the things that make you feel uncomfortable or fearful, then you're doing yourself a great disservice. You're not going to grow. You're not going to attain your ambitions. You're not going to become the person you're meant to be. You need to embrace discomfort. You need to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And once you do that, once you grasp that discomfort as part of the process, you'll start to realize that the terrible moments in life aren't anything to flee from. They're the moments that form you, that strengthen your resilience, and that prepare you for something better. It's easy to want to avoid discomfort, right? We all want things to be easy. We desire success without the hardship. But think about the most successful people, the ones who've achieved something truly amazing. Were their trips easy? No, not at all. They encountered difficulties. They encountered setbacks. And they went through challenges that most people would never want to encounter. But that's what made them who they are now. The truth is, there's no growth without resistance. It's like lifting weights. If you never challenge yourself with greater weights, your muscles will never expand. If you always stay in your comfort zone, if you avoid the hard stuff, you'll stay exactly where you are. But if you push through the obstacles, if you challenge yourself to do more, to be more, then you'll grow. You'll build strength, not just in your body, but in your mind and spirit as well. And here's the thing, discomfort will occur, no matter what. Life doesn't give you a pass simply because you want things to be simple. Life is going to throw hurdles your way. The question is, how are you going to respond? Are you going to flee from the discomfort, or are you going to lean into it? Are you going to dodge the struggle, or are you going to face it head on and develop from it? It's not about avoiding discomfort. It's about learning how to handle it. It's about recognizing that discomfort isn't the enemy, it's the instructor. Every time you encounter anything difficult, every time you experience that resistance, you have the opportunity to discover something new about yourself. You have the chance to get stronger, to become better, to grow in ways you couldn't if you stayed comfortable all the time. Now, let me be clear. I'm not saying you should seek out pain for pain's sake. You don't need to put yourself through unneeded hardship. But what I am saying is that when life gets rough, when things don't go the way you planned, when obstacles arise, you didn't run from it, lean into it. Don't let that knock you down and keep you down. Let it be the thing that compels you to ascend. Let it be the thing that pushes you to dig deeper, to strive harder, to become better. Think about it. The most successful people, the ones who've made a significant effect in the world, have endured difficulty. They've faced rejection. They've faced failure. But they didn't let those problems stop them. They didn't let the discomfort hold them back. Instead, they used it to fuel their journey. They used it to polish their talents, to strengthen their thinking, and to press forward when everything else was urging them to quit. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have everything figured out. You just need to be willing to confront the discomfort and keep going forward. You need to be willing to keep going, even when it feels like you're not making progress, even when you feel like you're hitting walls, even when the road looks endless and insurmountable. That's where the magic happens. That's where you find out what you're actually capable of. When everything inside of you is screaming, give up, but you choose to keep going, that's when you start to grow. And every time you push through, it gets easier. The discomfort becomes familiar, and you start to realize that you're stronger than you ever believed imaginable. This is why the most successful people in the world don't run away from problems. They seek them out. They recognize that discomfort is a sign that they're on the correct route. They recognize that it's the battle that makes achievement worth having. And I'm telling you right now, you are no different. You have the same strength within you. Strength inside of you, you have the same potential to face challenges, rise above the discomfort, and come out stronger on the other side. But it starts with your thinking. It starts with how you choose to view discomfort. If you consider discomfort as something to avoid, something to run from, then it will constantly hold you back. But if you see it as an opportunity to grow, as something that will make you stronger, then it becomes your best ally. It becomes the very thing that pulls you ahead. And I get it, sometimes it feels like the ache is too much to take. Sometimes it feels like the strain is overpowering and you just want to quit. But let me remind you of something vital. You've made it through every hard thing in your life thus far. Every difficulty, every setback, every time when you thought you couldn't go on, you made it through, and you're still here. that tells you something. It informs you that you have the strength, the resilience, and the ability to manage everything life throws at you. So when you're confronting difficulty, when you're feeling the strain, know that this is your chance to grow. This is your moment to show yourself what you're actually capable of. Don't shy away from it, lean into it. Embrace it and keep moving forward. The discomfort won't continue forever, but the growth you experience will stay with you forever. And when you get out on the other side, when you look back at all you've overcome, you'll realize something important. You were stronger than you expected. You were more capable than you knew, and you became the person you always had the capacity to be. Take action every day. You know what? Every single day is an opportunity to take action, to make progress, to transform your life. But most people don't perceive it that way. They wait for the perfect moment, the perfect conditions, the perfect circumstances before they accomplish anything. They assume they need everything to line just right before they can start. But let me tell you something, there's never a great time to start. There's only right now. And if you don't start today, you'll never get where you want to go. Let me ask you this. What's the one thing you've been putting off? The one thing that's been sitting in the back of your mind, the thing you keep saying you'll do someday? You know what I'm talking about, right? The dream, the objective, the change you've been thinking about but never putting action on. What are you waiting for? The right moment, the right conditions, the appropriate motivation. The truth is, if you keep waiting for everything to fall into place perfectly, you'll be waiting forever. You need to stop making excuses. You need to quit letting fear, doubt, or procrastination dictate your life. If you want to create a change, you have to take action today. It doesn't matter how modest the step is. It doesn't matter if you don't have everything sorted out yet. What matters is that you start. So many individuals are locked in the loop of waiting for the right moment, waiting for the right chance, waiting for something to magically happen. But nothing happens if you don't take action. Action is the catalyst that makes things happen. You can sit around thinking about your objectives, dreaming about your future, but if you don't really take actions toward them, nothing will change. It's that simple. It's easy to become trapped in the planning phase, isn't it? We assume we need a perfect plan, a perfect approach, the right resources, and that's when we fall into the trap of overthinking. We think if we just plan a little more, research a little more, prepare a little more, then we'll be ready. But here's the truth. You'll never be 100% ready. There will always be something unknown, something uncertain, something you can't control. And if you keep waiting for things to line up precisely, you'll miss out on the opportunities standing in front of you. The greatest moment to take action is now, not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel ready. If you wait for the perfect moment, you'll never get started. And if you never get started, you'll never get anywhere. So make today the day you take that initial step. Now, I'm not suggesting you have to take enormous leaps right now. Small steps are powerful. It's about consistency, not perfection. It's about doing something every single day that takes you closer to your objective. You don't need to know exactly how everything's going to work out. You don't need to have the complete plan drawn out. You only need to take that first step, then the next, and before you know it, you'll be further along than you ever thought imaginable. One of the greatest reasons people don't take action is because they're terrified of failure. They're terrified of making mistakes, of looking foolish, of not succeeding. And I get it, failure is scary. But here's the thing, failure is part of the process. It's not something to fear, it's something to learn from. Every time you fail, you get one step closer to success. You come one step closer to figuring out what works and what doesn't. Guess what? The most successful people in the world have failed more times than they can count. Failure is a stepping stone, not an obstacle. The real failure is when you don't take action at all. When you sit on the sidelines, waiting for the perfect conditions or for someone to give you permission, that's the failure. Not trying, not doing, not moving forward. So quit waiting for everything to be perfect. Stop waiting for fear to go away. Take action today and let failure be your teacher, not your enemy. And let me tell you something else. You'll never feel ready if you keep waiting. It's like leaping into a pool. You can stand at the edge, looking at the water, wondering about how cold it would be, fretting about how it might feel, but you'll never know until you take the plunge. Sure, it could be difficult at first, but the more you get in, the more you swim, the simpler it gets. Action produces momentum. The more you do, the more assured you get. The more you take risks, the more comfortable you get with discomfort, and the more you learn, the better you get. So what are you waiting for? If you want to alter your life, it starts with taking action. It starts with pushing beyond your comfort zone. It starts with doing something today that takes you closer to your dreams. It doesn't matter how big or tiny the step is, just make it happen, because once you start, you'll develop momentum, and that momentum will propel you forward. You'll start seeing results, and that will keep you going. The only thing that will keep you back from taking action is your thinking. If you keep telling yourself that you're not ready, that you'll start tomorrow, that you don't know enough, then you'll stay trapped. But if you change your perspective, if you tell yourself, I'm going to take action today, then you'll start moving. You'll start making progress. And little by little, those modest activities will add up to major changes. Look, I realize it's not simple. I realize it's scary. But let me tell you, the most successful people didn't get there by sitting around waiting for the ideal time. They got there by taking action, by pushing through their concerns, by entering into the unknown and figuring things out along the way. Action is the difference between dreaming and attaining. So don't wait. Don't put it off any longer. The time is now. Take action now, whether it's a modest step or a giant leap. Just take that first step and keep moving ahead every day. Keep taking action. It will pay off. Trust me. You're capable of more than you realize. And the sooner you start, the sooner you'll see the results. But it starts with you. It starts with your decision to take action. So what are you going to do? What step are you going to take today to move closer to your goals? The option is yours, and the time is now. As you embark into this new chapter of your life, remember this. Change doesn't happen overnight, but every action you do today puts you one step closer to the life you deserve. Don't wait for the perfect occasion. Make today your starting point. Take that initial action, no matter how tiny, and commit to your transformation. If you're ready to transform your life, subscribe, share this video with someone who needs to hear this message, and start taking action now.